Hello, friends. Okay, so today's episode of Quarantine Tips, we would like to share a little movement game with you. Now, this is really going to work best if you have a partner to do it with.
Yeah, that's kind of part of the game, but
It would be tough.
you can, games, a card game, you could use imagination, but
Yeah.
it'd be easier with partners.
So if you are just on your own, it doesn't mean you couldn't do this, but you'd have to visualize it, and you're not going to have the feedback from the other person, which is what really makes this game interesting. So this actually springs out of martial arts, and it also springs out of natural movement concepts. Imagine you're running through the woods, and you come around the corner, and you run into some brambles.
Oh.
There's two ways we can deal with that.
You ran straight into them? Or
It kind of hits you on the side.
Ooh.
The one is that you push through it, and those brambles are going to rip you up pretty bad. The other is that as it comes, you yield to them and they slide off of you. Now, I think often in our Western...
If your shirt is off, that is. But if you're wearing something like I am, they might stick a bit.
Yeah.
But then they're not going to dig and make holes.
So, in our Western minds, we've often been taught what I call the football approach, and that would be the American football approach, which you think about, those two teams and then smashing into each other. And so the idea is that when someone pushes on me,
Should I?
yeah, just push kind of hard, I tend to push back. And what happens there is then whatever force is greater wins out. And greater can mean more actual force, or in the case of the brambles, it can mean that it has a different kind of force, the sharpness of it.
Do
So,
you want to?
so if I'm going to push on you, Mirabelle,
Am I supposed to push back there?
yeah, push back, right? So I'm bigger and stronger, so I can just push her around. Yielding is a completely different way of moving. So when I push on her shoulder, she yields, and my energy goes nowhere. So it's this funny thing in that in surrendering or yielding, we actually take the upper hand and become more powerful because she takes control of my energy coming inwards. This game is played by...
You should show the stance first.
So with the stance she's talking, we're going to have our weight front-wise.
So I'm not resting anything on this back leg.
So the back leg is almost like you could pick it up, but here's the trick. I'm not leaning my weight out over the front. I'm almost going to imagine, here I have this hanging down, that I want my weight to be front, but a little bit back behind there, as if my energy is straight down. What this is going to do, it's going to give me a frontal ability to
push me a
move and
little.
blend.
And when he pushes, I can put my weight on here. But I can also, if he gives a strong enough push, come here and not stumble out of the circle.
Yeah. So this culminates later on in the circle game, where with the forest monks, we'd get into a circle and we try really hard to push each other out of the circle. And these blending and yielding techniques really can come into play. But for this game, think on your front. If that seems too complicated, you can just stand with your feet right next to each other and play this game too. And we're going to take hands, and what we're going to do, we can start with just one person being the aggressor and one the defender.
Let's start that.
So Mirabelle's going to be the defender, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to push towards her. And for instance, I'm going to push towards her chest to push her backwards.
Wait, no, that one was bad.
And what she's going to do is she's going to displace my energy
Okay, so do it again. I
with her
totally
hand.
forgot.
See that? So even if I come in pretty hard, she can displace that energy. And to do that, she's going to go to the side of the energy. If she pushes back
slowly.
straight against it, then I
then
win.
I can hurt my arm.
Yeah. But as my force is coming straight in towards her chest, she is going to move it to the side. So here comes my energy straight towards her,
Are you doing this
and
slower?
she's going to do a little, what did the Karate Kid do? She's going to circle.
Wax
so
on.
she's going to move, yeah, wax on, wax off. The energy that way.
So do it again. Let me get, because you guys are going out of my...
And the funny thing is, even though she's way smaller than me, if I try to push, I'm going to really try hard and fast, okay? So you just be sensitive. Okay. She can still move me. She's not doing it by fighting my energy at all. My energy's going in, and she's just moving it to the side. So her motion is, can you kind of show your motion? Yeah. Okay, so you're going pretty straight, linear to the side. You could circle it a little bit and feel it out. You're going to be able to feel what works best. So let's take both hands. So here we get the game to be a little bit more dynamic. And I can push towards her chest and push towards her face. You can see there, she's actually using kind of a circling outward motion to displace my energy. I can come both at once. There, and I moved her body a little bit, but still she was able to. And if you're doing this with your partner, at first you can feel it a little bit, but then you actually want to, I'm going to aim towards her chest, and I'm going to push hard and fast and see if she can displace it.
Don't do that too much because that kind of hurts.
That kind of hurt. Ready? Yeah. So that is me just on offense, her on defense. And at first it might feel really clumsy, like, oh, you get hit a lot. But she's learning to feel my energy as soon as it starts up. So if she becomes sensitive right in the beginning, she can move it very easily. If she doesn't catch it, which will happen at first, until she's here, then it's going to be harder to move and you're going to get hit a little bit more. But she's become very, very good at feeling energy, like oncoming momentum or energy way out here, so that she's moving it before I can even get myself started with it. Then the next step of the game is we both try to go at each other.
Which is really fun.
Yeah, so then, whoa! And she's better at it than I am, so I get hit a lot when I'm doing it, because see, she's just... And there you could see I use some force to oppose her. And that, especially, wow, if you're doing it with somebody else, that is going to kind of cheat you and rob you of this exercise, because then I'm just using force, which doesn't really work unless somebody's much smaller than I am. And then you sit here and you try to just hit each other. Oh, there, she got me. So that's the aim of the game, is just to sit here and feel out if we can start to feel each other's energy right at the source. Ah, there. See how that works? Give me five. See, that's football energy. So that's it. It's a really fun game that you can play. It becomes almost meditative. And the more you do it, the more you're going to be able to feel energy sourcing further out. And what it translates into in movement is that you, with the brambles, or you walk and accidentally bump into a wall, you're going to start to learn to yield to things. Or a tree. Yeah, it's really good, especially if you're running super fast through the woods, doing woods parkour. If you don't have this skill ingrained into your body, you tend to get hurt a lot more.
The thing with this is, I don't really have to do anything. It's just ingrained.
Yeah, it's become very natural for you.
It's very weird. It just happens.
Yeah.
My body already feels it. Does that. Reflex.
Yeah. Yeah, you change the way your body responds. And what I have found, at least, is that when we change the way our body moves, we also change our mentality, because this yielding is also very, very powerful in other ways, mentally, emotionally. And you think about, boy, almost anything that you come up against in life. You've got the virus here. We have found that you can't fight it in the sense of pushing straight against it. We have to dismantle it in different ways, yes, fight it, but we also have to yield to it by, for instance, stepping back from each other, creating that distancing, and then we gain a power over it just by not pushing back and saying, I don't care. We're all gonna gather in the thousands and spit on each other and lick each other's spit. Probably wouldn't work very well for us. That's the direct pressure that often we've been taught is the way to deal with things. But the yielding, it makes so much sense in so many ways. You'll find it works in conversations, in relationships, in marriages, in parent-child relationships. It is so powerful because it transforms the other person's energy. And often puts a humorous slant on it. You know, I mean, if I push at you and you go like that,
I get it.
you see, it's kind of ridiculous and it makes things funny.
And especially your face, I'm gonna get this. And then, yeah.
All right. Love to you all. Thank you so much. Try this out. And if you like it, let us know. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the
totally.
comments and we will talk with you tomorrow.